This is the full video to get n8n and start using it. So as you know, n8n is a automation platform which gives visual blocks to drag and drop and build systems and tools. You can use AI, agentic options, non-AI systems like Google Sheets, Slack, WhatsApp, so on and so forth. And things which you do not have integration with, you can use APIs, webhooks, and integrate them. But you get more than 400 tools and systems out of the box in n8n just to drag and drop and integrate. So in this video we'll see how to get subscription and start using it, or you can go for a cheaper option by using your self-hosted hosting or VPS or AWS VPS. You can get all this within next 5 to 7 minutes. Or if you want total free options without paying anything, you can watch the full video and you can go for a local host installation and everything you can do in your laptop, hosting it in your laptop using containerized environment. Hello friends, in this video we are going to learn what exactly is the n8n and what are the installation options we have for n8n. There are a number of options, but I have chosen the 3 best options for you to install and start using it. Option 1 is official subscription from n8n.io. We'll just look into it in a bit. Option 2 is cloud or VPS. You can go for the major cloud providers in the market, or you can go for the retail cloud providers, and you can get a virtual private server, that's VPS. Then option 3 is local host. You can get a Dockerized installation from the GitHub n8n site and start using it. And we'll also see what is the pros and cons of each of the approach, which approach you should take for which use case. Okay, so that's it. Let's dive slightly deeper into it now. Okay, what is n8n? So this is the GitHub site, github.com/n8n-io-n8n. Okay, this part is not necessary, you can remove it. Okay, so it says it's a workflow automation platform using visual blocks. Okay, secure workflow automation for technical teams. So that means you need a bit of technical knowledge or skill to automate things. Still you have the visual options, but little bit technical you have to know. That's what we'll cover in next videos. But this video is we are focusing on the installation part. First one is the option 1 is the official subscription. In the official subscription, I had already a official subscription, which is this one, insinac.app.n8n.cloud. So after you sign up, you get this kind of link where it will land you in the n8n official page where you start automated workflows. So if I hit that, what's happening now? You see it's saying no workspace found. That's because this is what happens after if you sign up for a free evaluation period for I think it is around 15 or 20 days. Then you don't update it, you don't give a provider payment information and stuff, you get a 404 and it asks you to open the admin panel. Let's click on it and saying there is no workspace and you have to upgrade my plan. And if you had earlier workplace, you can download. Okay, now let's click on upgrade plan. This is what exactly you have to pay for a monthly basis if you want to upgrade. If you want to go for a pro plan, this is what you have to pay. So we are covering this official subscription, and if you want to use it in production level on a daily basis, then this plan could be a good starter for you. It looks not too much for you to start servicing your clients or your own needs or your company needs. This may be a good fit. But if you are just trying to experiment the things and once in a while you want to run and you want to do certain things, then this becomes overwhelming because every month you have to start paying 24 pounds and you are not earning anything. There is no return, there is no client of yours, and there is no workflow you are running. So this may not be a viable option. In that case, then you have to go for option 2, which is cloud or a virtual private server, a VPS. So there are a number of options when it comes to VPS. For example, now if you go to hostinger.com, like Hostinger, there are many. You can do a chat GPT and search, but let's look at Hostinger option. Hostinger option, see it currently it gives a self-hosted n8n directly. There is an option. This option never used to be there earlier, but now it gives, which makes life much easier. Let's click on it. So it says 4.99 per month, but this could be a trap. This is not really 4.99 per month if you just want to use for 1 month. Okay, now let's click on it. Still it is not revealing every detail here, or not revealing every detail here, but this is also not a very good option. So this looks like as it says most popular, this is a right option because it has got more CPU and 8 gig of RAM. But n8n will not run very well on one CPU and just 4 GB of RAM. It might die also. So best thing is to go for this one if you are choosing Hostinger. Okay, let's minimize this. And what happens, you see here, that's the trap why I told you, because you see here 12.99 for 2 years. Okay, so that means you pay around $6 per month, and the next month onwards you have to pay $12.99. That's what it means, I think. But if you, let's proceed with that. Choose plan. Yeah, you see it's saying if you go for 24 months, then you pay $599 per month. But what if you go for just 12 months? You see, this is increased. So that is just a marketing strategy to bring you to this page. And let's say if you go for 1 month, it might be more. Yeah, it is $9.99 per month. But remember, this is just for first month. Next month onwards, it is almost $18 per month. Okay, and that's why I told you this is trap. But nonetheless, this is still less than 24 pounds. Okay, so this could be the second best option for you. For example, what I would suggest, do not go for this thing, just go for a month and spend around $10. And also if you like it, next month you can still spend $18, which in GBP, in the pounds, will be less than $18. With VAT, GST and stuff and all, it might cross over $20-25 as well. So but you have to calculate and work it out. Okay, then once you continue, what this guy does is it creates a virtual server which is based on Ubuntu, and installs n8n using Docker, and it gives you the ready-made platform. This is how it looks. I have already purchased, and this is how it looks. You see, This looks. Now if I have option of creating a new workflow, for example, see, it gives a brand new workflow, and I can just put a trigger manually. Then I can read, for example, Google Sheet. Then I can do on update a row in a sheet, or get row in a sheet, then do certain things. Or I can do something like, see, Telegram, get the chat message, leave the chat message, number of things you can do. So as the GitHub said here, it has got 400 plus integrations. That means different almost most of the tools in the market you can integrate. The tools means Telegram, WhatsApp, Google Sheet, all these are integration points and tools. Okay, that's how you integrate. I'm going to run you through a hello world or a real world use case, then you can see how it hangs together. That is what option 2 will give you. I have explained you the cost and benefits of hostinger, but if you want to go for AWS, you have to write AWS console, for example, Amazon console. Then you can buy a private VPS here as well. Is there any search box here? And look for light sale. Yeah, it's showing light sale pricing. This is what exactly we're looking for, and it's it has the things here. And if you want to mimic exactly the hostinger, what this guy did in my earlier, that if you want to mimic this, you have to set up everything where the hostinger is setting up for you the installation of the n8n via the dockerized mode, where, let me show you where it is bringing those dockerized things. Is here, deploy with Docker. So it's pretty straightforward, you can do it yourself. But if you are not a developer or any technical knowledge, you should go for hostinger. Otherwise, if you have a little bit development knowledge or tech knowledge, you can go for Amazon and get a Ubuntu stack from here. See, exactly, you can get similar stuff with 4 GB. This is 24 US dollar, which is slightly expensive, but you get more stops, more SSD, and more data transfer, faster. But for n8n to work properly, efficiently, this is what you need: 8 GB of RAM and 2 CPUs. And these things will not matter much. SSD and you need space, but not a lot. So this is another option. But when exactly you should go for this is when you want to do a lot of other things and n8n, then this makes sense. You want to run your other automation stuffs, or Python program or Java program or Node.js, so on and so forth. Okay, you get Ubuntu or any Fedora or Amazon Linux, all the Linux flavors or Windows flavors, you get it here. So those things are covered in option 2. Now that is the use case where you want to run certain things, experiment certain things, and leave it running. Then then the VPS is useful. Now when you have that kind of option, you want to run your stuffs and you want to do experiment, and really in the live environment you want to run some automation workflows, then this VPS option is the best option. Then last option is localhost. When you really don't want to do anything, spend money, and buy VPS and pay monthly wise things, then localhost is the best option. You can go for your Dockerized installation. First thing is install Docker desktop, which will bring you the Docker daemon, where you can do, let me show you quickly. Here if you type docker ps, if this is showing this, then Docker desktop is running. Okay, and here you see a desktop symbol. Even you can type docker and this will bring up your Docker thing. You see the images. That means this is basically what I'm showing is here you have the Docker desktop. If you don't have, just install Docker desktop. As soon as you install, you can follow these instructions here and just run the command. It will pull the n8n image from the Docker registry from here, docker.io registry. That it will do automatically. You don't have to take care of things, or from somewhere n8n registry and install in a local. So you don't have to install n8n directly on your laptop or PC or computer. You install Docker, which is a containerized environment. In that container, you put n8n. So on one fine day, if you don't like it, just uninstall that, kill it. So your desktop is secure. Okay, nothing happens. So basically, you don't corrupt your machine by installing any software for that matter, which you are experimenting with for your automation purpose. Okay, so that's how you install in your local host, then start using it. You don't have to pay anyone anything, no subscription, no official, no VPS, nothing. Okay, now what are the pros and cons of each of the approach? Okay, so we see option 1, we'll see option 1 pros and cons, option 2 pros and cons, and option 3 pros and cons. Okay, so option 1, if you have seen, where it is asking me for upgrading my plan by paying £24, but I had those options to experiment, and that I am going to show you exactly like this, which I am just experimenting here. Okay, for example, let me try to add a node which will read a row in your Google Sheet. Okay, for example, or which will send a message to the Slack. This is just for experimenting. I'll upload the separate video for different practical live use cases. You can have a look. This is just installation purpose. What is the pros and cons I'm covering there. Google Sheet, and for example, you update something updated in a Google Sheet and you want to do some action, so you add this. So here you see it asks to create a new credential. Okay, by the way, this is, you see, n8n .srv some number, then hostinger .cloud, and so on and so forth it is using. Okay, that is from this hostinger. I have already taken a subscription. I'm paying monthly, I think 20 plus US dollars I'm paying there. Okay, what are the pros and cons of the official subscription versus cloud VPS? I'm showing you here. You see here, as I covered in earlier quick video, auth to recommended. Okay, so here you have to take this URL, see HTTPS, and this is the server URL and auth credential and the callback URL. You have to take this and go to your Google account. Here this gives a step-by-step approach here, how to set up your auth 2. See here, look at open doc. See Google auth 2 authentication, step by step. Go to Google Cloud Console, enable APIs, enable auth, and finish your credential. Then copy this copy this URL and paste it here and configure it. Then it asks you for authentication and use your Gmail account and authenticate it. So all these things you have to do in this Hostinger server to authenticate yourself to use the Google Sheets API. Okay, but when it comes to official, when it comes to official subscription, you don't have to do this authentication things manually. Go to this setup auth, all these things you don't have to do. For example, even for the Slack integration, let's say if I want to do a Slack integration, for example, on when the Google Sheet is updated, for example, the Google Sheet is updated, I want to send a Slack message to myself or to my team. Then you either click here or click here, and then go to Slack node and send message. Yeah, there is a send message here. Yeah, and here you see you have to create a credential. Okay, now you have to go back to your Slack app. For example, if you have Slack installed, let's say I have already a Slack app test channel. You see, there's a test channel I've installed, and here you can create a channel for n8n specific and follow the instructions here. See, open the doc and follow the instructions. And because you are using non-official n8n, you have to go for auth 2. The moment I choose auth 2, it will give a URL below. See here below. Copy this URL copied. Then go to a Slack app and configure that in the settings. Paste that URL and it will authenticate yourself. Then you don't have to do it again for subsequent Slack node integrations. Why? Because this is n8n in the Hostinger cloud. But when it comes to official n8n, as soon as subscribe or in the trial period, that is also out of the box. You don't have to do all those things. You just click there, or you just click this access token. It will give you a token and start using it. So that is the seamless integration you get when you go for an official subscription. That's why they're charging a little bit of things and making life much easier. And it is running 24 hours. So all those things, nicer things comes handy in it. But if you are a techie or little bit tech knowledge if you have, you don't have to go for the pricing subscription. You can install here, and that auth 2 integration, which is authentication and integration things, it is just one time per integration. Like for Google Sheet, once you do, it remembers, and subsequent Google Sheet integrations you don't have to do that. You just reuse it. Look here. See, for me, I've already authenticated, so it remembers this. You can choose that. Or unless otherwise you want to use another Google account, you have to create another new credential. Okay, that's how it works. Now we saw the pros and cons of official versus VPS, where the authentication and the integrations, OAuth 2, credentials, all this, how nicely handled in official subscription and how you can handle yourself in your VPS. Okay, based on the path you have chosen, you have to take care. Now coming to localhost, there will be a problem for your auth 2. Localhosts are very good when you are locally experimenting everything and there is no server or internet authentication or authorization is required. For example, when you do a, let's say, Google authentication, you want to create a new credential here. When you click here, it generates, like you see here, this n8n SRB 1074034. This was same music. n8n SRB 1074034 hostinger.cloud. Hostinger.cloud. So this is the host name. So when you run a local thing, it will generate this auth 2 callback URL with your local host here. Okay, and when you copy this and go to your Google authentication and you use that callback method with localhost, it may not work, because when it hits that localhost thing, it can redirect because it is not a publicly accessible URL. So that is the drawback. That's the trade-off you have to pay. Okay, that's the drawback. That is basically the cons of installing localhost and using it. But other than that, any other use case, because n8n comes with, as it says, more than 400 integrations. A lot of integrations where you may not need this authentication stuff and all other workflows you can run. Localhost will be the best option for you. Okay, that's what I wanted to cover. Just to recap everything once again, in this video we saw what is n8n and where the n8n source code is available in GitHub. Then we saw 3 options of installations for n8n. One is official subscription, pros and cons, and the pricing. Second is cloud and VPS installations. We saw Hostinger and Amazon options and pros and cons of authentication authorization and the freedom to use other apps and automations alongside of the n8n. And option 3 is local hub laptop or PC. We saw the pros and cons, where the cons are like you will have authentication issues because of your local host issues, and pros are nothing you have to pay to no one, no subscription, everything you can run, you can shut down, uninstall, install, all those things you have full freedom here. Okay, so we covered pros and cons. Then we saw the use cases where each of the installations makes sense for you. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.